What if I told you that every time you pick up your phone, you're wasting your life? That the endless scrolling, the mindless binging, is slowly rotting your brain? It's not just about lost time, it's about losing yourself. Brain rot is real, and it's silently destroying the lives of students everywhere. While you're glued to your screen, your focus, creativity, and even your future are slipping away. This isn't just a bad habit, it's a ticking time bomb. If you don't wake up now, you could lose everything that truly matters. Ever felt like your brain's slowly turning into mush after hours of scrolling through social media or binging Netflix? That's what we're talking about when we say brain rot. Not just a catchy phrase, it's real. Our brains weren't built to handle constant stimulation without a break. Stoic philosophy and modern psychology both tell us that to focus on growth and self-improvement, we need discipline. We're in a battle against distractions, and to win, we have to understand what we're up against. Imagine Nietzsche and Schopenhauer scrolling through TikTok. Sounds absurd, right? That's because these great minds knew the power of deep thinking, which is the exact opposite of what today's digital distractions offer. When we allow ourselves to fall into the trap of endless content consumption, we're not just wasting time, we're dulling our cognitive abilities. Our mental well-being takes a hit, and soon enough, things like anxiety and depression start creeping in. Essentialism teaches us that less is more, and that applies to our digital lives too. Think about it. Every time you pick up your phone to mindlessly scroll, you're giving away a little piece of your mental energy. You could be using that energy for personal development, self-knowledge, or even just to be a better person. But instead, it gets chipped away, bit by bit, leaving you feeling drained and unmotivated. The mental rot sets in, and before you know it, you're stuck in a cycle of procrastination and self-doubt. To optimize your existence, you need to take a step back and reevaluate how you're spending your time. What's worse, this brain rot isn't just about wasting time, it's about the long-term impact on your mind. Studies in psychology show that constant exposure to the rapid-fire information online damages our ability to focus, making it harder to engage in the deep, meaningful work that leads to personal success. If you want to improve your social skills, become more confident, or achieve personal growth, you have to get rid of the digital clutter that's clogging up your mind. Digital minimalism isn't just a trend, it's a necessity for anyone serious about self-development. So, what's the solution? We'll get into that, but first let's explore a scenario you might find all too familiar. Picture this. You sit down to study, fully intending to crush that assignment. You've got your books open, your laptop ready, and then, ding, a notification pops up on your phone. You think, just a quick check, but we both know how that story ends. What was supposed to be a 5-minute break turns into an hour-long scroll through social media, and before you know it, your study time's been swallowed up by endless distraction. That discipline you were counting on? Out the window. This scenario isn't just common, it's practically a rite of passage in today's digital age. The student life, filled with deadlines and pressure, is tough enough without the constant pull of digital distractions. You know you should be focusing on growth and personal development, but instead, caught in a loop of procrastination. Nietzsche talked about overcoming the chaos within, but how can you do that when your mind is constantly pulled in 100 different directions? The impact of these distractions goes beyond just lost time. They affect your mental well-being too. Every time you get distracted, your brain has to work overtime to refocus, which leads to cognitive overload. It's no wonder that anxiety and depression are on the rise among students. The quick dopamine hits from likes and comments might feel good in the moment, but they leave you feeling drained and less capable of tackling real challenges. Digital detoxing isn't just a buzzword, it's a lifeline. Imagine if, instead of getting sucked into that distraction spiral, you could channel that energy into something meaningful. Whether it's self-improvement, gaining self-knowledge, or simply working towards personal success, that time could be so much better spent. But breaking free from these distractions isn't easy, and it takes more than just willpower. It requires a strategy, a commitment to digital minimalism, and a shift in mindset. Speaking of mindset, let's dig into the cognitive impact of all this digital noise. you might be surprised at just how much it's affecting your brain. So, let's talk about what's really happening in your brain when you're glued to your screens. Research shows that excessive internet use is messing with our cognitive functions in ways we never anticipated. Every time you jump from one app to another or scroll through endless feeds, your brain is doing a mental juggling act. This constant switching overloads your brain, weakening your decision-making abilities and impulse control. It's like your brain's being rewired for distraction, rather than focus on growth and personal development. Ever notice how it's getting harder to sit down and read a book, or even focus on a single task for more than a few minutes? That's not a coincidence. The cognitive overload from too much digital stimulation erodes your ability to concentrate. Schopenhauer and Nietzsche, with their deep philosophical insights, would have struggled to think critically in today's environment. Stoicism teaches us to control what we can, but how can you control your mind when it's constantly being hijacked by external stimuli? This cognitive decline isn't just about losing focus. It's about losing the ability to think deeply and creatively, skills essential for personal growth and self-improvement. Do you want to optimize your existence? You have to protect your cognitive functions. That means being proactive in how you use technology, not letting it control you. The philosophy of essentialism reminds us that less is more, and that's especially true when it comes to protecting your mental bandwidth. The impact of cognitive overload also trickles down into your emotional state. When your brain is constantly on overdrive, it becomes harder to manage stress, anxiety, and depression. You're left feeling mentally exhausted, which only fuels the cycle of distraction and procrastination. It's a vicious loop that's tough to break, but with the right strategies, you can regain control. Digital detox, dopamine fasting, and practicing digital minimalism are just a few ways to start clearing the mental clutter. What does this cognitive strain mean for your emotional well-being? Let's dive into the emotional consequences of this digital age. It's not just your brain that takes a hit from constant screen time. Your emotions are on the line too. Endless barrage of notifications, messages, and social media updates can lead to serious emotional fallout. Ever felt a sudden wave of anxiety after checking your phone, or a pang of depression when scrolling through someone else's highlight reel? That's because our brains are wired to seek out social validation, and when we don't get it, or worse, when we compare ourselves to others, it messes with our mental well-being. The constant search for dopamine hits from likes, comments, and shares might feel rewarding in the moment, but it's a trap. Over time, this need for instant gratification can lead to heightened anxiety and depression, making it harder to focus on personal success and growth. You find yourself stuck in a cycle of seeking validation, which only deepens feelings of inadequacy. Stoic philosophy teaches us to find contentment within. But how can you do that when your happiness depends on the next notification? What's more, this emotional toll doesn't just affect your mood. It impacts your relationships and social skills too. When you're constantly glued to your phone, you're missing out on real-life connections, which are crucial for personal development and mental well-being. It's ironic, isn't it? The very tools designed to connect us are often the ones that make us feel more isolated and alone. If you want to improve your social skills and be a more confident, better person, you've got to unplug and engage with the world around you. And let's not forget the role of existentialism in all this. Nietzsche and Schopenhauer might argue that our endless quest for meaning through digital distractions is only deepening our existential angst. We're not just scrolling through our feeds, we're scrolling through our lives, missing out on the moments that truly matter. To break free, we need to shift our focus from digital validation to real-life experiences and personal growth. So how do you combat these emotional consequences? The good news is, there are practical solutions that can help you reclaim your mental and emotional well-being. Let's explore some strategies to get your life back on track. All right, let's talk about how you can fight back against brain rot and reclaim your mental and emotional well-being. The first step is to take control of your screen time. Start small. Maybe try a digital detox for just a few hours a day. You'll be surprised how much clearer your mind feels without the constant pings and distractions. This isn't about cutting out technology completely. It's about using it wisely. Essentialism reminds us to focus on what truly matters, and sometimes that means saying no to digital noise. Another powerful strategy is dopamine fasting. Sounds intense, but it's really just about giving your brain a break from instant gratification. Instead of reaching for your phone every time you're bored, try engaging in activities that require full attention. Reading, meditating, in your own way, or simply taking a walk. These activities not only improve your cognitive functions, but also enhance your emotional well-being, allowing you to focus on growth and self-improvement in a more meaningful way. Engage in real-life interactions. Whether it's spending time with friends or family, joining a club, or volunteering, these connections are vital for your mental health and personal development. Improving social skills and becoming more confident isn't just about learning new techniques. It's about practicing them in real-life situations. Marco Aurelio emphasized the importance of living in accordance with nature, and there's nothing more natural than human connection. Another tip: minimize the digital clutter in your life. Embrace digital minimalism by keeping only the apps and tools that truly add value. This might mean deleting social media apps from your phone, turning off notifications, or setting specific times for checking email. By reducing the digital noise, you create space for deeper thinking, creativity, and personal growth. Remember, proactivity is key. Don't let technology dictate your life. Finally, make time for activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. Whether it's pursuing a hobby, learning something new, or simply relaxing, these moments are crucial for mental well-being and personal success. Life isn't just about productivity. It's also about finding balance and happiness. So optimize your existence by being intentional with your time and energy. And remember, this journey is about progress, not perfection.